Hello, guys, and welcome to Cricket Caviar. What a fantastic test match it is going on. I have Manisha and Pratik with me. Manisha is joining from the hills of Kunur, and Pratik is joining from far across seven seas from Dallas.
One
And
one more week from Dallas. Then I'll be joining from India from next week.
yeah, looking forward to your visit, man. Yeah, it's been an incredible 2 3 days of Test cricket, and like our viewers know, we love discussing Test cricket. That's what we are here for, and discussing good Test cricket. And I just want to talk about this Test match that is going on in Wellington. What I mean, everyone is just talking about the big brother, small brother relationship between Australia and New Zealand. All the Aussie commentators are being passive aggressive. They are talking about how New Zealand cracks under the pressure when they face Australia. But let me tell you guys, after the 2 days that were dominated by Australia, New Zealand have come back strongly, and they have
Yeah.
dominated Australia today. And there is a glimmer of hope, and it would be a miracle if they win this Test match after trailing by 204 runs. I mean, how this Test match has gone on, we'll try to break it down. But since Cameron Green hit that 100 out of 174, I saw no chance for New Zealand after they were 29 for 5. But somehow,
Yeah.
because of Glenn Phillips, his brilliance with the bat, his brilliance with the ball,
Ball.
him being a total rock star, this Test match is still alive. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah,
Yes,
amazing. Like who knew when
absolutely.
Glenn Phillips started playing from that Bangladesh series that he will be an exciting test cricketer. We didn't see that coming. New Zealand already had so many quality spin bowling all-rounders like Santner, Jadeja. Phillips still finding his place there as their best T20 batsman. Like somehow he has crossed the threshold. He's in the test team and he's performing in every series now. And
Hmm.
the position that he has is also very critical. He has the ability to score quick runs, so that gives him like a Rishabh Pant kind of a role, right? So it's amazing, and what a day 3 for New Zealand. Finally, they have made their mark in this test match.
Okay,
Yeah,
Manisha,
yeah,
I just
yeah,
want
yeah.
to, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
go.
yes.
No,
Sure.
I just
So
wanted
I
to
mean,
ask you about
I,
Kane Williamson's run out, because the guy who plays with a cool head, and
yeah,
always playing 60 50 dot balls for scoring 10 runs, suddenly wants to take a single of the second ball that he faces, and
yeah.
then he collides with Will Young. What was your reaction, being a Kiwi supporter, hardcore Kiwi
Yes,
supporter? What's your reaction on that?
Absolutely, absolutely, Shikhar. I mean, I thought after giving up his captaincy, Williamson will now be a free bird and he can play his own game. But it was very shocking because it was not only limited, like let's say, चलो पहला inning हमने Will Young को
Hmm.
doshi or whatever, we tell him that he was at fault, but second innings maybe he just got out, and I was shocked. I mean, this is not the Williamson we know, right? I mean, he is the anchor of the Kiwi team. So it
Hmm.
was very shocking to see what has happened to him. I read somewhere also that it has been years that he has got run out. The
Yeah.
last maybe he was
12
with
years.
Raw when Rob Taylor was there or something like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was very shocking that Williamson is just has अपने हाथ खड़े कर दिए types. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
very.
I feel like the Australian coach would have been like, okay, boys, let's make a plan for Williamson. So come in, he has scored 700s in seven. BS coach, BS. We will just handle him. So
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's how Aussies are. Like seriously, I cannot believe, man, such a calm, composed guy. I think he's the one most
Hmm.
cool, composed after MSD, but he's
Hmm.
getting run out in that fashion. Like, what was the need there to take that single? Anyways,
And
like,
also I feel कि lot of the other players
Hmm.
like let's say with the Rachin, whether it is like Latham, all look up to Williamson, and उसका
hmm,
ऐसे 2 बार ऐसे इतने खराब रन
yeah,
करके आउट होना, it is somehow affecting. They might not express it, but it
Hmm.
is affecting their
there are still
yeah,
too
mental.
many runs left for even if Mitchell and this guy Phillips they play well, but still there are 258. 250 is a lot.
By the way,
Correct.
I personally think that New Zealand lost this test match even before the test match started, when they said that Neil Wagner will not be playing. And they said, because we want to accommodate Mitchell Santner. That was the message that they were sending, कि Mitchell Santner को accommodate करना है. And because we made a mistake versus South Africa, we didn't play him where Dane Piet was turning the ball, he was taking fifers, and then suddenly you don't pick him also, and Scott Kugelheim is bowling like 3 overs in the third innings, and Glenn Phillips is running through sides. Nathan Lyon has picked a 5-4 for. It was just a selection disaster to start with. I mean,
Yes, yes.
then they won the toss, they put Australia in, and on a pitch where they should have got Australia out for 100. It was such a kind of pitch. They just allowed Australia to get away and score those many runs. I mean, the opening partnership itself was 60 runs, and then finally they just allowed Cam Green to score 383 on that pitch. It was just uh, choking of a massive level, and all the Australia. I felt totally justified when I heard all the Aussie commentators saying that they still have that big brother syndrome. They
Mental
perform
edge.
well
Yeah.
versus England, India, but against Australia, I don't know what happens to them. They just try too hard. Things like Kane Williamson trying to sneak a single, all these things. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just shocking in a way what happens.
Yeah, another thing
I mean,
Australia has done
yeah,
really
yeah,
well in like big key matches. They pile up a good first innings total, and then the opposition, even though they try to come back, they're just playing a catching game. Similar thing happened to India in the World Test Championship second final against Australia. We started coming back from day 3, day 4, but we were always catching up after that brilliant knock from Travis at 169. Similar score, right? Like how
Hmm.
this guy Green scored. And yeah, like they just play so well. And you have to give credit to Khwaja, man. Like Khwaja might have scored 60, 70 odd runs in this test match, but he has played close to 200 deliveries, adding his first and second innings.
Hmm.
So
yeah, yeah.
that is a
I mean,
huge, like,
that is
that
Kwaja, that
saves
is
from
Kwaja
collapses.
playing
What
his
New
side.
Zealand had
Yeah,
that
yeah,
collapse.
yeah.
Yeah, that saves them from those collapses.
Hmm.
Yeah, but guys, I just have one question. I mean, we
Hmm.
heard Leon telling in the like whatever, like the after the innings, right, that he was surprised that why Santner was not played. And
Yeah,
here we're
yeah.
also talking that Wagner, they didn't allow. I mean, they didn't let him play when he has announced his retirement. तो आप लोगों को क्या लगता है कि किस किस को खेलना चाहिए था? Like we have
लाइक यार
Santner,
ये
we
तो
have
गजब हो
Wagner.
गया यार,
So
स्कॉट कुगलाइन और रूरकी दोनों को डेब्यू, दोनों को दे दिया यार। लाइक वॉगनर तो दोनों में से एक से तो बेटर है यार। पता नहीं क्या यार, फास्ट बॉलर को कभी रिस्पेक्ट मिलेगा क्या क्रिकेट में यार? उमेश यादव को कभी भी उठा के फेंक दिया। अब यहाँ पे वॉगनर साला बेचारा 64 टेस्ट तक बॉलिंग किया है। उसको सिर्फ स्किल, उसको वो बहुत, उसका भी मन था कि भाई वो टॉप अच्छी फुल लेंथ बॉलिंग करे, टॉप ऑर्डर को बॉलिंग करे, नहीं बट उसको बस एक ही रोल दे रखा था कि भाई तुझे
Hmm.
बस मिडिल ओवर में बाउंसर्स बैराज करना है। तब भी
Hmm.
बेचारा खेलता था हमेशा, और इस ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अगेंस्ट उसका रिकॉर्ड इतना अच्छा है, उसके बावजूद खिलाया
Hmm.
नहीं उसको।
I think it's an emotional and just they just want to prove that they are very super cool people who can drop people. They are trying to show the Aussie side of themselves. Ki, we can drop people when they should not have dropped Wagner at all. I mean, he was so
Yeah.
critical. He was so good against the Aussies, and you drop him and you don't even play Santner. Then what's the point of dropping him? And you go with all four pace attack and you concede 383 runs on in the first innings itself. You don't pick up any wickets. The pitch was swinging. It was not as if it was not swinging. If you see how Matt Henry bowled Usman Khwaja, that ball swung a lot actually. And I just can't believe how New Zealand blundered in the first two innings, and then you see that indecisiveness of Tom Latham, who is looking to leave a ball but ends up touching it, and all these indecisive dismissals that happened. They were
Yeah.
29 for 5, and thank God for Phillips, who actually salvaged the situation and took them to 170 odd runs and gave them
Respective
a trail
total.
of
Yeah.
204. But still, I think today was incredible. Exactly what the doctor had ordered for New Zealand cricket. They got even after 50, they were 53 for two. They got
Yeah,
Nathan
50.
Lyon.
Yeah.
Yeah, night
Three
watchman
down
actually
early, right?
played.
59 for 3, actually. 59 for 3. And then
Hmm.
the this beautiful partnership between Ravindra and Mitchell. I
Yeah,
mean, they will surely hope, man. These guys were the ones who scored so much runs for the New Zealand in the World Cup, right? Ravindra and
hmm,
Mitchell. So
hmm,
they will hope. They will certainly hope. But and another thing, Shikhar, we have seen that sometimes the wicket gets easier in New Zealand on day 4, unlike other countries where it's
Yeah,
difficult to play on day 4 and day 5. So
yeah.
that factor will also be there. And but definitely 258 is a lot. They need a miracle here. But let's
Also
see.
that collapse Australia that we talk about, na, the Australia who collapse a lot,
Oh,
that we saw in the
yeah.
Ashes, that was back today because they lost some 8 wickets for 112 runs today. And it was just they were batting in some kind of mode that we are too much ahead of the game, let's just score fast. Everyone was slogging. If you see, Pat Cummins was slogging, Stark was trying to hit those boundaries, Green was alone. I think he was fighting, he fought for a long time, but everyone was just trying to swing. uh, this
Yeah,
guy
except
Phillips,
Khwaja and Green, everyone was playing in that mode.
and
Exactly.
even Khwaja, like he lost his patience, he also tried to swing.
Yeah, I cannot believe how stupidly he got out in both the innings after facing so many deliveries. His dismissal
Hmm.
was very stupid both times. This time stumped. Like I just cannot believe. Yeah, but
Hmm.
let's see if New Zealand puts on a show, another show. Like day 4, they have to give something back to their fans. Fans,
Yeah,
like yeah.
yeah. Manisha, what are your thoughts? Let's get an overall thought. What are you
Yeah.
thinking about this test match before we move on to other topics?
Yeah, really, really sorry, Shikhar and Pratik. I mean, I think hill station में भूतिया का असर शुरू हो गया है, so I got disconnected surprisingly.
Yeah.
But not to horrify our audience. But you are asking me about the reaction for this test match, right? Australia and New Zealand, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
like predictions for day 4.
Okay, yeah. So basically, the hero so far was Cameron Green. I mean, we saw, right, how he
Yeah.
just that 170 is not just a 170, but it was from like when the other team was like other partner was fall like they were getting out. He was so good and he just scored 170. But I never expected New Zealand will turn the game so well, and all thanks to Glenn Phillips. But I'm again disappointed कि ये लोगों ने इतनी जल्दी 2-3 विकेट अपने गवा
Yeah, they
दिए.
were 59 for 3. Yes.
Really, yeah, I really don't know what is going to happen. Again, it is all upon like I see Rachin Ravindra and Mitchell, uh, you know, like अपना वो जो बोलते हैं ना कि that fort they are kind of standing. अभी
Yeah.
भी काफी टाइम है. They just have to stand, run as we're saying in the group. इतने नहीं है. They just have to stand and play. They can do it. That's
Yeah.
it. I mean, because
Yeah, they have
uh,
to believe that they can do it. 200
exactly.
250 रन है तो उनको believe होना चाहिए
Exactly.
कि we are
Right.
better than what Australia did in the third innings,
Absolutely.
where they
Yeah.
just panicked
Yeah.
and they just gave away wickets. They just gifted
Yeah.
wickets Australia, and they had no, again, this was so silly from Australia. They had no logic to get out like this. The way they got out, they
They should have
probably,
easily scored 200 or 250 in the third
they
innings.
could have put the game
So,
out of the bed. They could have put the
yes.
game out of New Zealand's hands. They could have batted them out. But I heard a theory that the weather is going to get worse, and they were also thinking how to get to bowl, because they were thinking we can bowl out New Zealand for 250 anyway. They are choking against us so
Hmm.
badly. But I think
That's a
that
very
made
good
them
point.
wrong,
There is
because
rain
Rachin
forecast for next
Rachin
few
is
days.
different. Rachin is an Aussie smasher. He's not
Yeah.
carrying the baggage of his predecessors, that I'm
Yes.
going to choke against Australia. He's a warrior, Rachin. He's an Indian. He is not a new Kiwi. First of all, we have to call that out. And Indians love playing against Australia. Washington Sundar, Rishabh Pant, all
India is
the
the only team
debutants
that
love
challenges
Australia.
Australia in recent time. Yeah,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
test
Yeah.
matches. Correct.
So he's going to
मुझे लगता
smash
है ये लोग
them.
पेसर्स के अगेंस्ट या ये लोग पेसर्स के अगेंस्ट अच्छा खेल रहे हैं. स्टार्क को तो इन्होंने पहले इनिंग में बहुत
I
इज्जत
was
दे दी थी.
actually gonna
He
say that
just
Lion will have a very key role if Australia has to win.
exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. He said his mouth is watering now. He is in a very good zone. So let's
Hmm.
see what happens tomorrow. Yeah,
I
He
yeah.
think
was actually getting a lot of turn in the first innings as well.
More than Lion, I think it's going to be Travis Head, because I think
Oh
he's always the
yeah.
X factor.
That guy, man, that yeah.
Is the I don't know how
You
he
can
gets
never
those
take him
wickets,
out.
man. I can't imagine the luck on him. Like today, Steve Smith took that
It's
fantastic
so
catch
true.
to get that wicket.
ट्रैविस हेड तो या तो बैटिंग में कुछ कमाल करेगा या तो बॉलिंग में कर लेगा. कुछ नहीं हो तो फील्डिंग में कर लेगा. ये
He's the
इंसान
guy.
तो अलग ही.
उसको वो एक्स
By the
फैक्टर
way,
शो में जाना चाहिए ना, वहां पे उसको अपना टैलेंट दिखाना चाहिए, वहां पे वो जीत जाएगा, क्योंकि वो कुछ
yeah.
भी कर देता है भाई, कुछ भी, कभी कैच ले लेगा, कभी फील्डिंग कर लेगा, कभी बॉलिंग कर लेगा, बैटिंग कर लेगा, तो कुछ भी कर लेता
By
है
the way,
वो
I'm
तो।
still not convinced Steve Smith as an opener. Like another point
Yeah, yeah.
just before we cap off.
Yeah, yeah.
Forget Steve Smith. I'm not convinced with Australian batting itself. Matlab, their bowling is amazing. Everyone praises Australian bowling, the great three bowlers of our era, Pat Cummins, Mitchell Stark, Josh Hazelwood. But man, their batting has been just pathetic throughout the summer. And
I think
today
their
was,
strategy is like our openers will play a safe game, like maybe 60 runs in the first session, and then the middle orders will explode. Like middle order players will explode.
I'm telling you, without Khwaja and Mitchell Marsh, there has been no one in Australian
Yeah.
batting order who has stepped up. If you see from Border Gavaskar Trophy or WTC,
Yeah.
I mean, Travis Head
And
did step up in WTC finals, but if you see after that, the Ashes and everything, no one has stepped up
yeah,
except
yeah,
for
yeah.
Especially
Khwaja, and
Labushan. Labushan has been so
Deep
bad,
and Labushan
so
have been
bad.
pathetic. I mean, what
He
are
has
they
scored
even
what, like
doing?
3 runs in this test, something like that. Yeah, 1 and 2.
Yeah. They've been
Yeah,
just
yeah.
pathetic. And that middle order, because now Steve Smith has moved up to the opening position. I think now I'm thanking David Warner. He won them so many matches at home, because now Australia
Yeah.
is really starting to miss David, an opener like David
I
Warner,
think
who,
David Warner was one of the best players at home. Like unbelievable record. The way he
yeah.
smashed the opponents
And he was,
day in and day out.
and I mean, Steve Smith's opening record till now, he will say that I hit a 90 in a losing cause or something, but it's been pathetic till now, and
And
he's been
also one
dominating.
person who is not getting the blame is Alex Carey. I really don't
Yeah.
remember when he played well last time. I seriously remember him only because of his haircut controversy. मुझे उसके
Yeah.
अलावा कुछ भी याद नहीं है उसके
I
बारे में.
mean,
Seriously,
thanks
so
Manisha
bad.
for bringing that up. Today, all the three left-handers got out to Glenn Phillips. That was Carey, Khwaja,
Head.
and Head. All three got out to absolutely stupid dismissals to Alex Carey, and I could not believe like
I
what they
mean,
were trying to do.
Nathan Lyon made 41 at the beginning of the day, and you are still getting all out for 160.
Hmm.
It's just, and I mean, at lunch, they were at such a comfortable position. If you see at lunch, and even at 127 for four, I could never imagine Australia collapsing like that and giving a ray of hope to New Zealand
Sniff
now.
to New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
But
Daryl Mitchell
obviously, New
again,
Zealand
Pratik.
fans would have been more comfortable if Williamson was at the crease. So unfortunately, he's not.
Yeah. That was a big wicket, but I still think Daryl Mitchell. I think they can bat till Saudi. They can bat till
Yeah,
I
but
don't
still, if
know.
you remember all the big wins New Zealand have got in the last couple of years, it's always Williamson. In the last test against South
Hmm.
Africa, in that match
Hmm,
where when England had given them a follow on, Williamson came back, right? They scored
hmm,
400 something in the third innings. And
hmm.
then the game against Sri Lanka when Williamson stole a bye at the last ball. So it's always
Yeah.
But
Williamson in that
also,
fourth innings
yeah,
special.
Pratik, I also feel this can be a blessing in disguise कि इनको अभी विलियमसन से मतलब ऊपर उठना पड़ेगा because he is not going to be there forever, right?
Yeah.
These other people have to step up now. ठीक है, हो
Yeah,
गया.
and the Bangladesh series they went
Yeah,
without Williamson, I think, and then they squared the series after losing the first test. So
Yeah, and that was
they
also
have
because
shown
of
some.
Glenn Phillips. I mean, he's going to be
Yeah.
the most critical batsman
हाँ,
tomorrow. There is no doubt. The form that he has, and he
Also
won
because he
that.
plays
very
fast.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
plays
this ground
fast.
is
He
not
can.
too big. We saw when Cam Green played on the second day, he hit so many sixes. He hit so many pull shots comfortably, clearing the ropes.
Mhm,
So yeah,
True.
mhm. And
if it
and
comes down to like 150 runs left and 3-4 wickets left, then yeah, then it's a good guy to have Phillips in and just hitting the ball.
yeah,
Like,
Phillips is
true.
going to be so important, and so is going to be Mitchell and Ravindra. I think these three players are going to
Yes.
be so important for. And even if one of them doesn't contribute, then I think it will be very difficult for
That's
New
the
Zealand.
problem. Like all three have to score big now. That's the main
Yeah,
challenge.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's lived up to its billing, and the way New Zealand has smashed day 3. I'm so
Hmm.
excited to wake up tomorrow and
Yeah.
see what's going to happen.
Even though it's
Yeah.
3:30, even though it's 3:30, it's still
Yeah,
pretty good.
I hope Pratik will give us some
Maybe,
updates, but because anyway,
yeah, maybe
Pratik,
session two you can start. Yeah.
yeah, session 2, I think we'll be able to start. So that's about New Zealand, and I hope the big brother, small brother story finishes, because every commentator, including Brad Haddon, Brendan Julian, and everyone is just going on about how New Zealand chokes when facing
Yeah.
Australia. And Mark Richardson and Craig McMillan, on the other hand, they are so desperate to get this win. I just feel when I'm hearing the commentary, there is so much tension between these guys. I hope New Zealand
Oh
can
yeah.
get a win. It will be amazing for Test cricket if New Zealand can get a win, and Australia back to back losses, and also for WTC, it will be amazing if New Zealand gets a win. That's
Yes.
going to be the main thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for this discussion, and please follow us and subscribe us, guys, for more content on cricket. And we are Pratik. So next, what should we discuss